I'd like to welcome everyone to the Board of Licensing Contractors meeting in Knoxville. Start off with a roll call, starting with my right.
Randy Chase, Nashville.
Keith Whittington, Johnson City.
Mark Brudd, Knoxville.
Reese Smith, Franklin.
Bill DeMint, Jackson. I'd like to welcome our new member, Bill DeMint. He is a road builder in Jackson, serving as a West Tennessee member. Next is to adopt the agenda. Anyone have any changes to the agenda?
Make a motion, we adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next is the approval of the meeting minutes from July the 25th in Nashville.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any comments to that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. License reviews. We'll start with ratifying the hardships. Here a motion for approval.
Make a motion that we approve the hardships as submitted.
Second.
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. License approvals, waived interviews.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have contractor revisions, increases, add classes, mode changes, and name changes.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have applications with factors and interviews. Don't have any applications they want to talk about? Take a motion for approval then.
So moved.
Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a residential continuing ed provider, PDH Academy, wanting to approve 4 additional courses. Comments to that?
What does that mean now? Is that continuing ed?
Yeah, they've already been approved as a provider.
Right.
We're just wanting to add 4 new courses.
But our hourly requirements are the same. You can just, got it.
That's it. I'll accept a motion for their approval.
I move that we approve the 4 additional courses to RCE.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We have a public comment period related to items on the agenda. Anyone that wishes to comment? Being none, we'll move on. With the legal report,
It's good morning. There were no changes to the legal report.
Good job.
Make a motion, we accept the legal report.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Residential had over 100. We had little, if any, changes or recommendations out of 100 that those our staff did.
It was a great job.
Commercial didn't have that many, but we didn't have any changes at all. All right, the legal report. There were no negative votes, so I think that motion carried.
We did have one matter related to the legal report. As you all are aware, we had implemented a process in which the executive director was sending out statutory citations. And this time we do not have a board or executive director for the board. We've looked at the statutes and the executive director is basically designated or has that delegated authority from the board by law to send out the statutory citation. So the board does still have that authority to send the statutory citations. We believe it's a much more efficient process to deal with some of these unlicensed cases. These individuals have a right to appeal. They've got all of their rights still attached, but if we can resolve them through an agreed citation, it's much more efficient and get some of these cases off the legal report. We would request that the board delegate that authority in the absence of the executive director to the assistant commissioner, just to sign off on those citations so that we can continue to process those until we have a new executive director in place. If the board is agreeable to that, we would just request that you all vote on that to approve the delegation of that authority, just until we have a new executive director in place. And it's something maybe in the future we would change by or consider changing by rule, just so we have a streamlined process in place. It wouldn't have to come to the board every time there's no longer an executive director.
I think it would be good if you came before the board each time that changed.
Okay.
I really do. I think the board needs to approve who's doing that.
And I think that's fair as well. At least in this specific moment, we don't have much turnover. I know Director Lazenby was in place for a very long time. We're hoping that the next executive director is in place for a very long time as well. So hopefully this isn't something that we have to deal with in the near future, but at least in the next few months until we get someone in place, we would like to have a process so we can continue to send those citations out.
Someone want to make a motion?
I make a motion that in the absence of an executive director and until that position is filled, that the board assign the assistant commissioner for the Department of Commerce and Insurance Authority to issue
The statutory citation.
statutory citations.
That's Alex.
Alex Martin.
Yeah.
That's
I was here.
Is there a second?
You write that down. There's a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Tell us what me and the new members, tell us what a statutory.
So we send out that by law, the board is authorized for unlicensed contractors and unlicensed home improvement contractors to be able to send out a citation. That basically says we have enough evidence to show that you've engaged in unlicensed contracting. And the board had previously had a procedure for setting an amount for unlicensed contracting and amount for unlicensed home improvement. We would send those citations out to those individuals. If they were served with it, whether by certified mail, a regular mail, or personal service, at that point and they didn't appeal that penalty would be due. And it would be the same as if they were formally disciplined by the board. So it is a much more efficient process for these unlicensed contractor cases, because otherwise they go through a formal hearing. And if they appealed, if they try to say that, no, I actually was licensed, or if they have other evidence that could be considered, or they just want to have a formal hearing, they still have that opportunity. But this is a manner for all those individuals who are working in unlicensed capacity. The board can send them a citation of $500, I believe is what we do for the home improvement, or $1,000 for the unlicensed contracting. We send that out to them, and that could be per violation. You could have a contract, you have multiple citations sent to them. And those could all be resolved that way instead of sending that to a formal hearing. But essentially, they get a notice either from our process server or in the mail that says the board has found that you've engaged in unlicensed contracting. You have a penalty of $1,000 or $500, depending on the circumstances. That you need to pay that within a certain number of amount of time. They can sign it and pay it that day. They can return it. They can even return it after if it goes to collections. But a lot of these unlicensed contractor cases, otherwise it goes through a formal hearing. And I think the board's very familiar with some of the issues that arise with some of these unlicensed contractors with sending them numerous offers to settle and trying to actually enforce that. Citations seem to be a better option for actual enforcement. And I don't think we have any reports to provide to this board meeting of recent citations, but typically we send to each board meeting a list of citations that were sent out, how much was collected, and the number that was actually served. Are there any other questions on that?
Thank you. Legislative update. Do we have legislative update?
No, we don't have any updates at this time.
Okay. Executive Director, as you know, Michael resigned a couple of weeks ago, and we are searching for a new executive director. I've talked to Alex Martin about it. I don't know if he is advertised already or he's about to. He hasn't already, so.
So is it something they're gonna advertise the position, not go to the number 2 choice in the previous selection?
Alex contacted the number 2 candidate and they were no longer interested, so they're going to re-advertise, re-interview.
That works.
Mr. Gribble, you have a Go Build presentation for us.
Good morning, board members. I'm Robert Gribble. I'm a Greg Board's Executive Director of Funeral Board and Burial Services. Not anything to do really with contracting. But I'm filling in at the request of Assistant Commissioner Alex Martin to present to you. Pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated 4-41-105 and 107 for the fiscal year 2023-2024 first quarter, payment to the Go Bill Tennessee will be $123,425, which represents 50% of the fiscal year 23 revenue less the year balance for the contractor, excluding any Go Bill Tennessee payments and accruals in the account. And Commissioner Martin tells me that this check has already been cut and been sent to Go Bill Tennessee in the amount of $123,425. There's some documentation. I think you have a copy of it. If you don't, I've got a copy that I'd be glad to share with you so that you can see how that figure was arrived at.
Any questions? Okay, appreciate it. Josie, I think we've already given your report. Right? Statutory
I
citation.
suppose it is. I jumped the gun on that. I apologize.
No problem. Is there any new business?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chairman. We do have a new hire that I would like to bring over to the board. Her name is Ellen Morrison. She was a previous employee with the Department of Treasury and with the state of Tennessee for a very long time. And she was extremely eligible. We did hire her. She started and she's training. She will be processing initial applications as well as home improvement applications. So you will start to see her name coming in with processing of initials and home improvement contractor licenses up here in the next few weeks. And that's all I have to report. Okay,
Any other new business?
that's all I have.
I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Adjourn.